Okay. Hey everyone, welcome to another Open Cluster Management Community Meetings. Today is July 18th, 2025. On the agenda today, we're excited to have our CNCF ambassador, Quinn Howe, who's going to present the Kueue integration with Open Cluster Management. So, CNCF ambassador Quinn Howe, please feel free to take it away whenever.
Thank you. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Oh, yeah, thank you. So today I want to share about our latest update for our integration with Kueue. Mainly we'll introduce our Kueue add-on and our installation step have some updates. I want to show that to you. Here are a few useful links. Let me introduce some background first. As you may know, 2 years ago, we have a GoSock project that we integrate open class management with MultiQ. And recently, we added as an optional solution in the Queue's official doc to help Queue users to streamline their MultiQ setup process. This solution mainly resolve two pain points for the MultiQ users. One is our solution will automatically generate some MultiQ specific config for the Q users, so they don't need to follow the general step to manually create that. And another thing is we can leverage the open class management scheduling capability to MultiQ so that the MultiQ user can use OCM's advanced scheduling capability in their environment. And if you open this link, you will be directed to this page. This is our current solution. And there are a few things we want to enhance, so we have this issue logged in our community. We want to enhance the current solution, mainly on two things. First is today our solution user need to manually install some components and replace some images to use this feature. But with this enhancement, we want make it easy. For example, for Queue's integration, user only need to install an add-on that will include all the things you need. And also for the code itself, today the integrations code is mixed with the OCM's core code, and we separate it to a standalone repo. That is what I want to introduce. The Q add-on, we separate that part to the Q add-on, and now we have a automation check controller and a credential controller that is used for this integration. Here are a few tasks we have already almost done. Only a few docs need to update. So today I want to first introduce this add-on. This is our topic, the Q add-on for open cluster management. This add-on is what we introduced. It tries to simplify the MultiQ setup process and also enhance the multi-cluster scheduling capabilities. So this add-on mainly brings two benefits. One is we still auto-generate the MultiQ specific kube config to streamline the configuration, and also we integrate OCM's placement with MultiQ by implementing our own automation checker controller. And this controller will auto create MultiQ config and MultiQ cluster dynamically based on the placement decision. This whole part we provide it as a Helm chart for the users. Here is a diagram you can see. If you want to use this solution, firstly, you need to have OCM installed, and also you have Q installed in your hub cluster. And inside the Q add-on, there are mainly two parts. One is the Q add-on controller I just introduced. The credential controller is responsible to create some managed service account and cluster permission resource for each managed cluster. And with that created a secret contains the credential to connect the spoke will generated under the Q system namespace, which can be used for multi-queue. And another is the automation check controller. Now this controller, it will watch the placement decision and the automation check resource created by the user. When there are some cluster changes, it will create the multi-queue config and create a few multi-queue clusters with credentials under the queue system namespace so that we can help to streamline the multi-queue setup. And also inside our queue add-on Helm chart, there is an add-on template. Add-on template is a mechanism from OCM. It contains a few resources like the resource flavor, cluster queue, and local queue. These resources are needed for multi-queue environment setup. This is created on the hub, and by installing the OCM, it will auto deploy this resource to the spoke as well. So with this Helm chart installed, the queue needed resource will be deployed on the spoke. And as a user, all you need is the admin have set up this whole environment for you, and the user need to create a placement and an automation check in the clusters queue. And with created, we will set up everything for you. And the last step is user can submit a job to the clusters queue. Okay, below are some detailed introduction. You can go through it. And also there is a quick start how you can deploy this add-on. But to use the whole solution, you still need to follow the integration solution stock. Follow this stock to set up the whole environment. And since we add the Q add-on, so I have another peer to update the solutions steps. This is not merged yet, but you can see there are some changes. The many changes are in the setup step. We remove some menu step to replace some images, but you only need to install the Q add-on. Only need to install the Q add-on. This will contain everything you need. And I have an environment. I can show you what it looks like today. This is an environment. In this environment, I already have a local cluster and 3 managed cluster installed. And since we add the add-on, you can see in this environment, we have 3 add-on installed, the Q add-on and managed service account add-on. And there should be another is cluster permission. I'm not sure why it is not listed here. Can check the MC resource. The Q add-on are listed are installed for each spoke. And if you check the pod, you can see there is a Kueue add-on controller deployed on the hub. And if you check some resource like multi-queue config, can check it on the on one of the spoke cluster. Oh, no. You can check the cluster queue. You can see with the OCM add-on, Q add-on installed, all the needed resource are already deployed to the spoke. Okay, this is the environment. And now I want to use the, also another thing you can check is the, with OCM Q add-on installed, there are a few secrets auto-created under the Q, under the Q system namespace. So you don't need to manually create this. And now I want to use the story 2 of the current solution to show you how we can use it. The story 2 is that as an admin, I want to use open class management placement result for scheduling so that some clusters with some specific attributes, like the clusters with NVIDIA T4 GPU label will automatically be selected and converted into a multi-queue for the target workload deployment. You can check the labels there. The cluster 2 and cluster 3, they have the NVIDIA Tesla T4 label. And now I want to use our placement and our integration to auto set up this multi-queue environment. Here is a resource we need to define. Firstly, the hub, you should have a mirror of the cluster queue, resource flavor, and local queue of your spoke cluster. It should be the same. And also with the integration, you only need to define 2 automation check in the cluster queue. One is the multi-queue demo 2. This is the multi-queue automation check. It pointed to configuration is the multi-queue config. But you don't need to really create this multi-queue config since OCM will auto create it for you. And another automation check is the automation check used by OCM. The controller name is point to the placement, and the parameter is a placement. So with this created, the multi-queue config will and multi-queue cluster will be auto-created. Let's create this resource, see what happened. I can see the there are actually no resource created. Why? Because we don't create a placement. You can see the admission check, it point to a placement. We need to create this resource as well. This is our placement. It's in the predict, it's try to select clusters with NVIDIA Tesla T4. And let's create this resource. Oh. With this grid, you can see the placement, the demo 2, it's indeed select 2 clusters. Let's create select 2 clusters. And then we can check the decision. Or you can see the cluster 2 and 3 are created. With this decision generated, let's check the multi-queue config and multi-queue cluster again. You can see it's created 1 minute ago. And there are multi-queue cluster auto created. Let's see what's the inside this resource. In the multi-queue config is created by OCM and it lists the selected cluster to the config. And also in the multi-queue cluster, you can see this is also created by OCM. It pointed to the secret. The secret is also created by OCM. In this way, we make this whole process easier for user. And now we can check some conditions. You can see the 2 clusters are connected. And we can check the automation check conditions. You can see the OCM's automation check, it also reports active. And in the cluster queue, you can also see it said it ready to automate new workload. Then let's create a job font to it. With this job created, you can see it's created on the cluster 2. Yeah, this is the one I just created. Yeah, I think that's all for some state the usage. If you have interested, we have another 2 story you can have a try. It's in our solutions page. I think this peer will be merged soon. And also yesterday we released our we released our first version of Q add-on version 0.11. You can try this Helm chart with our latest peers setup step. Yeah, I think that's all for some updates. Any questions?
That was great. That was a great presentation and great demo. Um, August, I'm gonna pick on you. I'm sorry. Do you
That's
have
all right.
any comments or questions for
So,
Quintel?
yeah, how talk a bit more about just the creation of the add-on. Can you take us through some of that process a bit, or in general, just show us how the developer thinks about creating a new add-on?
Okay, let me see. Oh, this is our add-on.
Yeah, just a little peek behind the curtains, as they say.
Add-on what we provide user is a chart in the chart, you can see this is the template. Templates is deployed on the hub. It contains a few cluster role bindings. What's important is the resource flavor, cluster queue and local queue. These two resources is defined on the hub, but will be deployed to the spoke. So user can this is configurable, so you can input your content from the hub, and we will use template to deploy this necessary queue resource for you to the hub. And also in the chart we have this cluster management add-on is a OCM's resource. It's trying to define which cluster will be selected to deploy the add-on. This is not you don't need to change it. And also there are some necessary RBAC configurations. The important thing is the deployment. This is our core part of our Q add-on. This deployment is trying to deploy the Q add-on controller on the hub. Okay, so that's what I just show you. Let me see. Yeah, that is what I just showed you. A template is trying to deploy resource to the spoke, and the Q add-on controller is our core part. It's responsible for two things. One is create credentials for your multi-queue cluster. And the automation check controller is trying to auto update and create your multi-queue config and multi-queue cluster.
Yeah, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, and on the cluster you can see firstly the controller this is a Q add-on controller. And it creates two things. First is a secret. Oh yeah, it's created some secrets used by multi-queue for users, and another is it creates it will auto create the multi-queue config and multi-queue cluster as I just demoed. And for the add-on template, you can also see it in this is the resource. If you want to change the template, you can input your own resource definition when you create the Helm chart. So the template's content will change. Yeah, this is what I just showed you. You can change these parts before you install the Helm chart. So this will be what you defined. I think that's all. And
Yeah.
August, do you have anything missing?
No, that's cool. And as you know, I'm not a developer, so this is great to see that behind the scenes. I have another question, and we've talked about it before, is the admission controller that converts placement into queue instructions. Is that, am I understanding it right? Is that what we place?
Oh yeah.
How does that work? Like, so it knows how to write multi or queue instructions.
Firstly, our controller, we can watch the placement and decision. That is what we can do today. We can know what the placement selected, and the connection point is this. In the multi-queue, in the automation check, there is a controller name. So there will be many automation check controller running in a queue system, but this controller name will point to placement. So when our automation check controller will know, oh, this is what I need to handle, and it pointed to a placement. When it reads this controller name, he knows this is the resource he need to handle, and he get the parameter. He will know which cluster is selected by this placement. And then he created the multi-queue config and cluster based on the decision.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That's very cool. Because I know you've shown this to me before, like in pieces, but it's just that demo to see all the pieces together from add-on to, upstream, grabbing the queue stuff with the Helm chart. That's neat. That's good. And this just gets better and
Yeah,
better. I love this.
Yeah, in the README we have some detail about the each function of the controller, and there is a there is another tier and not merged yet, but here I will add some design details and workflows to that. When this merged, you can see I will add some design details of how it works and some changes before and after we add the admission check controller, how it simplified the user's setup process, and
Right.
some, yeah.
Right. And so you've included this, I see, yeah, all as part of the add-on. So it's in the README. So it makes it really clear how to use the add-on. Okay, cool. I'll do more
Yeah.
reading.
Yeah, thank you.
Uh, we got a hand up. I'll shut up now.
Yeah, Haojing, I think one thing I want maybe we can you can clarify. So in our current pattern, it's not like for each job submit to the queue, we need to create a placement, right? It's like a singleton placement for the queue. And that placement will be dynamically updated based on the resource usage. So whenever a job is submitted, it is using the placement in the updated when the placement in the current status, and the placement will change the number, like the which cluster, like change the queue clusters in the queue. So it will going to pick the different for each job. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah. I missed that step. Let me show you again. This is the placement we just created. If you remember, uh, there are two clusters selected, but now I can update it to select only one. Oh, let me try to apply it for you. You can see when it's updated, the placement update to only select one cluster. And if you check the multi-queue config, you can see it's also updated to update only select one. So at this time, if you create a new job, it will create to the clusters. Since the multi-queue config updated, the new created job will be scheduled based on the new decision. And we have in the solution we mentioned we have a resource usage add-on which can collect the GPU usage. So if your placement define some rules, like you want to select cluster based on the GPU usage, in that way the placement decision will update it based on how your workload dispatched and how the GPU usage looks like on each spoke, and the decision will change. So each time you create a new job, it will be auto-scheduled to like the cluster with most available GPU.
Yeah, so for example, I think I'm not quite sure about one case. Like for example, at the first round, you have job one that you select cluster one, so we create a queue cluster. one for job one. And then and after that, the job two, we create another job with name job two. And for example, the decision has been changed to cluster two, which means in the queue, the Q cluster one will be deleted and the Q cluster two will be created. So in that case, will that impact job one because because the Q cluster one will be removed because the decision has been removed?
No,
Yeah.
the overall cluster will keep running in the existing cluster. This is the queue's mechanism. We want to change the dispatched workload.
Yeah, but even though we don't need to, so after that we don't need so we don't need to check the job status, right? After that, that because I think when the Q cluster one is removed, the credential part is also can removed, I guess.
Yeah, that's something we need to consider. Today, this solution, the first version solution, I don't remove it, so it can
Okay.
still be used.
I see. Yeah, okay. So I also paste a link of about the Q issues in the chat. There are some discussion about enhancement on the multi-queue, like to have a dispatcher API. I think we might need to also look at that. Like maybe it's also how we can improve our current integrations.
I think August have also showed this to me. It's fine. Yeah, it seems we can have some further integration with this.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, thanks again, Quinn. This was amazing demo with all the AI workload and the Q project that's like attracting a lot of attention. Us having this integration is definitely pretty huge, not only for us but for like the community as a whole. So thank you again, Quinn, for doing this.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna wait another 10-20 seconds to see if there's any more comments or questions. Okay, it sounds like we don't have any comments or questions for Quinn. I just want to add that next week we're finally gonna submit our CNCF incubation application. So hopefully everything goes well with our application. And thank you again to August and Q Jang and everyone, Quinn Hao, Zhu Zhang, Joshua, Yuan Yuan, everyone in this call basically for helping us get to that point. So yep, lots of
Yeah,
good things ahead of OCM. Sorry, August, go ahead.
no, that's I was just saying that's really cool. Like, thanks for even calling that out. That yeah, we've been all working on that and putting it together and talking to adopters and everything. So it's really neat to see the project move along uh, towards that next goal. It's cool, man. Multi-cluster is important, so I love it. Just love it. Yeah.
Exactly, August. Okay, I guess that's all for this week. See you all next time. Thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Okay, bye.